Hey everyone, I just got done listening to the commentary by director Steve Miner, actress Jamie Lee Curtis, and moderator Sean Clark, who's most known for his Horror's Hallowed Ground features that have been on like Scream Factory, Never Sleep Again, I believe Crystal Lake Memories, no, not Crystal Lake Memories, and then a few other Scream Factory titles. And I thought I'd go ahead and talk about it. Now, I do want to say I don't have the DVD of this to really compare too much, but I will try to do a little comparison. I do plan to get the Miramax Collector's Series edition, which actually had features. The Echo Bridge, I won't even touch those. But anyways, this is Halloween H20. Okay, you see with the black case and everything, and the features. Okay, and the features state, as I already said, the commentary. Then there's the making of Halloween H20, which is, I believe it's titled Blood is Thicker Than Water, which has interviews with basically everyone except Michelle Williams. She seems to be the only one that didn't do anything, and Steve Miner also didn't do any interviews for this documentary, but I'm guessing, being on the commentary is more than enough, because this man doesn't do interviews or commentaries unless it's when he's working on the film. We do get vintage interviews and behind the scenes footage, which I'm assuming is the unmasking, part of the Unmasking the Horror featurette that was on the first DVD edition. I'm not sure. But vintage, meaning classical, and they are on the set, so I can only assume, and they also talk about 1998 as if it just happened, like it was just happening. So I would have to assume that this was all on the previous DVD. And then we have a theatrical trailer. There is no music video. The video that was on the previous edition was What's This Life For by Creed, which I have that video on the Creed music video collection. It came with a Creed's Greatest Hits CD, and that video's on there, but not with Halloween H20 scenes. I believe there was a version with H20 scenes in it, so that's another incentive for me to go get that DVD. Besides, liking to have both DVD and Blu-ray versions of some of my favorites. And then this, again, the eco cases. My thoughts on the features. The commentary is actually really good. It makes me really wish that Steve Miner did do more. I would love to hear his commentary on Forever Young. He does make a mention of it. He also makes a mention of Friday the 13th. It's a brief mention, and he doesn't get into any kind of details or anything, but which I would have loved to hear a commentary on 2 or 3. I would have even if it was just 1, I would have been fine. Or at least an interview on the Crystal Lake Memories documentary. Nothing, and I just feel like he really kind of shafted where he started, because he worked on the first film as well. But anyways, that's going off topic. The commentary here is really cool. Once again, Jamie Lee Curtis kind of portrays herself as the audience that she hopes watches these films, the ones that are too scared and close their eyes, or she constantly makes a mention of covering the screen that I guess each one has their own screen they're watching, and she's covering her screen, but she can see through her fingers, and that's just enough to get her scared. And Steve Miner is very good with talking about what went into making. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there'll be a few that now have a finger to point at for anything that they might not like. And then Sean Clark is pretty much there just to kind of relay questions if it goes quiet for too long. And there's like maybe 2 or 3 spots that I could think of where it did get silent for a bit. Even Jamie Lee at one point is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I completely stopped talking. I'm just so into this," And they do talk a little bit about like Michelle Williams and Josh Hartnett. I wish they would have talked a little bit more about Julianne O'Keefe and the other actor who played Charlie. It would have been nice to hear their thoughts on, like, whether they got along with them or not. Overall, it's a good commentary. Once again, it's technical, with Jamie Lee and Sean being a little bit more laid back. So it kind of gives a nice little balance on both. I would have liked to hear Kevin Williamson's commentary. Speaking of Kevin Williamson, he's not part of the making of Halloween feature either, which was surprising, because in his Scream stuff, he's very much he very much talks about. He loves to talk about the films he's doing and stuff, and he just didn't do this. So I'm wondering if they just couldn't get him, or if he wasn't interested. Did he have a bad falling out? Because it very much that this film all came from favors. Jamie Lee, coming and wanting Deborah Hill and John Carpenter, not getting them, or them, bowing out and leaving her basically on her own. Steve Miner getting Kevin Williamson, it's pretty, because they worked on Dawson's Creek, so it was very much a favor type of making film. With Jamie Lee being the only one that really had the idea for it in the first place, because I do know originally they wanted to just follow up with what Halloween 6 left us with, but then Pleasance passed away, and they had to kind of regroup, and then we got this. Or Jamie Lee came in, and then we got this. But I'm not gonna get into like mainly the review, because in my opinion, this is not the worst, but it's not one of my favorites either. I think that the characters, a lot of them were kind of paper thin. Aside from Jamie Lee, Josh Hartnett, those really were the only ones that weren't paper thin. Even Michelle Williams, who, I'm a fan of her stuff when she was in Dawson's Creek, but she was paper thin in this as well. Until the end. When the end comes, she's a very active actor, and a very active character in the film, which I liked. But again, especially if you watch Resurrection, which I do actually like Resurrection, there were some major reasons to hate it, but the good that I did like from it kind of overshadows that in a way. But they leave a big hole with the John character, and I actually wrote an outline that kind of settled that whole story and actually ended that timeline, since Rob Zombie came in and did his. So yeah, I've always had this urge to just want to see something that connects all 7 films in a way that doesn't like shit on any character or any other writer's ideas, and closes it out on a high note. But there is also a good reason. Jamie Lee does talk about why she can't kill Michael Myers, and yeah. I'll let you listen to that to check it out. But again, I would give this probably a 3 out of 5, going close to a 4, because they are missing features. And again, I don't know if the vintage features that are on here were part of the Unmasking the Horror featurette that was on the previous DVD. And there was also a trivia game on that DVD, and I don't know if trivia games can actually be ported over, but yeah, that's not on here either. But it gives me something to look forward to buying the other edition. In terms of the film quality, I didn't notice any kind of grain or anything. I never got the Echo Bridge release, so I can't say whether or not the widescreen is any different. But of course, if you followed this release since it was announced, you would have saw that Extreme Factory fixed whatever ratio problems there were. I again put the menu screen on there, and I am almost done with this box set. I will do Resurrection in a day or two. I watched the features a long time ago, but I want to rewatch them, kind of just to kind of refresh my head on them. But again, the making of feature is about an hour long, and the vintage stuff is about 45 minutes long. So you have a good 2 hours worth of features, aside from the commentary, to kind of watch. And you know, and they're pretty good. You know, they all give their own insights. You know, they do talk a little bit about the mass controversy in both the commentary and the featurette and the documentary. And then of course the vintage interviews are, you know, right then and there when it was being made, so it was all fresh, promotional type of interviews. You know, so there's there is a lot of, you know, stuff to try and make you go see the film, as well as, you know, like the legacy that had been at that time of the first film, you know, and how its lasting impression created the new film. But anyways, I am rambling, so I will let you guys go, and once again, happy Halloween.